This is the Unit 1 end of unit assessment test corrections video. For every question you missed, you're going to get a sticky note. You're going to rework the problem on the sticky note, and then you'll do the next one. First question. A square has a side length of 9 centimeters. What is its area? So, it's a square, so I'm going to draw a square. Has a side length of 9 centimeters. So I know all squares have the same side length. So, its area, I know that area equals base times height, and that's going to be my area. So it's going to be 9 times 9, and I know that 9 times 9 is 81 square centimeters. So that was the answer to number 1. Number 2, a square has an area of 9 centimeters. I put the 9 inside because we're talking about area, and area is the space inside. So now I'm looking for two numbers that are twins that will multiply together to give me 9. So something times something is going to be 9. So I think 1 times 1, that's 1. 2 times 2, that's 4. 3 times 3, hey, that's it. So the question is, what's the side length? Since 3 times 3 is 9, the side length is 3. Next section. A polyhedron is a cube with a corner removed and relocated to the top. Polyhedron Q is also a cube. How do their surface areas compare? So if I do the surface area of this, I'm counting all of these surfaces and the ones behind. If I do the surface area of this, I'm counting all of these surfaces. But because this has been moved up top, we've added these 4 pieces. So that's the top that would go here. And then these 2 sides are those 2 sides. So it's not A, it's not less, it's not equal, it is actually more. Next question. Select all the nets that can be folded and assembled into a triangular prism. So I know if it's a triangular prism, this is a base and this is a base. So I'm looking for something with only 2 triangles. So this has 2 triangles. This has 4 triangles, so no. This has 2 triangles, and this has 1 triangle, so no. So if I think in my mind about folding this up, this went down, that went down, that went down, that would work. This went down, that went over, that would work. So A and D both worked. Page 2. A rectangular prism has dimensions of 2 by 2 by 5. What is its surface area? Explain or show your reasoning. So I'm going to think about the front and the back, the top and the bottom, the left side and the right side. So starting here at the front, it is 2 by 5. And that is 10. So that means that the back is the same thing. The top is 5 by 2. And so is the bottom. The side is 2 by 2, or 4. And now I add it all up. 10, 20, 30, 40, plus 8 is 48 square centimeters. All right, if I folded this up, what's it going to make? Well, it's got 2 triangles, so that means it's a triangular prism. What is the surface area? So I'm going to explain my reasoning here. So this panel is 6 by 4. So 6 times 4 is 24 square units for this rectangle right here. Now I'm going to look at this one right here. It's 6 by 5. So this has an area of 30. The next one is 6 by 3. 6 times 3 is 18. All right, so that's the rectangular pieces. Now I need to look at the triangles. When I look at my triangles, I'm looking for my right angle. So I know my base is 4 and my height is 3. So the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or half base times height. So the base is 4, the height is 3, divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2, that's 6. So the area of this is 6. Then I come over here, find my right angle. 4 and 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. So that's 6. Now I want the surface area of the whole thing. So I need to add all these up. So 6 plus 24 plus 30 plus 18 plus 6 again. So that's 10. Plus 14 is 24. 2, 4, 5 plus 3 is 8. So 84 square, whatever these are, centimeters. And the final page. A cube, so I draw it, has an edge length of 8 inches. What is the volume? Well, I know that volume is length times width times height. So volume is 8 times 8 times 8. If I write it with an exponent, it's 8 to the 1, 2, 3, third power. If I do the math, 8 times 8 is 64, times 8 again is 512. So now I'm going to look for these three answers over here. This is 8 to the second power? No. This is 8 to the third power. This is 6. I don't have any 6's, so no. I don't have any 6's, so no. And then the first one. So those were your two correct answers. And then the final question. So the final question, you're being asked to tell which is greater. So here I've got 13 to the second power, that means 13 times 13. And 15 to the second power, that means 15 times 15. Now, I can tell this is going to be higher because the numbers are bigger. But just to be sure, I'm going to do 13 raised to the second power, and that's 169. And I'm going to do 15 raised to the second power, and that's 225. And yes, that is bigger. So this whole thing is bigger. Now I've got 7 times 6 times 6. Or 6 times 6 times 6. Well, which is bigger? 7 times 6 times 6 or 6 times 6 times 6? This one's going to be bigger because it's got a 7 and this has a 6. But just to be sure, let's check it out. So I'm going to do 7 times 6 raised to the second power. That's 252. Then I'm going to do 6 raised to the third power. That's 216. So I was correct. This one is greater. Finally, I have 10 times 10 times 10, or 30 times 30. Now this doesn't have common factors, so this is harder to think about, so I'm going to use my calculator. 10 raised to the third power, that's 1,000. 30 raised to the second power, that's 900. So, which is greater? 1,000. So which is greater? 10 to the third power. Make sure you've put a sticky note with the math for every single question you got wrong and give it to your teacher so that you can retest. Thank you.